Howdy folks, this is Jared the Fluty Homestead, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about a water system and a water pump. Okay, we're out here beside my little shed, and as you see here, I've got this hole of water, and this is fed, I think, by a little spring here in the hill, and this is not far from my seam of coal, and this little stream of water runs all the time. It's always wet here, so a few years ago, I dug this out, and it has held water ever since, and I've dipped water out of it for a lot of things, and I've done a test on it last year and didn't find any contaminants in it. And there's some frogs and tadpoles in it right now. But my ultimate plan is I'm going to dig this deep as I can dig it and put a liner in there, whether it be concrete or some food grade plastic barrels, I thought, and then fill gravel and put a top on it. And I'm wanting to pump this water. So before I can dig it, I'm going to have to pump this down because it runs a lot. So I've got a submersible pump. We're going to try to pump this, and I want to use this submersible pump to see actually how much water comes out of this and how fast it replenishes itself. So I'm going to take you in the cellar now and show you how I want to set up my pump for this water hole, and you can give me your ideas if you think it'll work. Okay, here we are in the cellar, which is probably about 50 feet away from the water hole we were just at, and I have a pressure tank. And I have this small Myers pump. This is a 1/2 horsepower, 115 or 230 volt. And looks like it was wired up on a 110 before. So I plan on running 220 out here. But my plan is to run a pipe through the wall, through the ground to the water hole. And it'll just be maybe at least 6 to 8 feet deep, I'm hoping. Put a foot valve on it, come over the 60 feet to this pump, pressure tank, and then have a hose spigot, run a line to the house or wherever I want, then I can pump from that spring. So you can tell me if you think that'll work, pumping 50 feet sideways and then about 6 feet down. And that's my plan. I'll have a filter too I'm going to put on this as well. So what we've got here is this SmartBot 1/2 horsepower submersible pump. And we have a 2-inch discharge hose. And I'm going to hook this pump up, and we're going to put it in this water hole, and we're going to let it pump it dry, and we're going to see how fast this spring takes to replenish itself, so I can kind of get a gauge on how much water it is. And this pump has an automatic shut off, so when the water gets down, it'll shut itself off. And this one has a fall over protection. If it falls over in the water, after the water gets down so low, it'll kick itself off. I believe it said that it'll pump 1/4 inch solids. It's not a sump pump, but it'll pump, that way, if you're in a pond or something, you might get a few little bits of debris, it'll pump it through. We're going to mount this elbow on here. Turned it too far. And it came with 4 others for different size pipes. And it came with one here that fits a garden hose. So that'll be really handy. I'll use this to fill up my cattle trough. A lot of times I'll dip water out of this water hole for the cows. Okay, we've got our hose on. I'm going to get my extension cord, and we're going to plug this thing up and see how fast it'll pump this water hole down. I believe this hole's about maybe 2.5 to 3 feet deep, if I remember right. So we're going to pump it down, and hopefully we're going to see how long it takes to fill back up. Okay, we're going to set our pump in the water, and I have my cord here ready to go. I got my hose hooked to it here. And we're just going to drop him in. And I don't know how flat it is right there. Looks like it's setting level. I've got this hose ran down here to the ditch. Now we're going to plug it up. You see the pump kicked on and the hose is swelling. So we're going to go down here and check the outflow. Okay, we're pumping a big stream of water. Doing good. I don't know how long it'll take it to pump this thing dry. But we're just going to let her go for a minute. The Shorty's got to check it out. We're going to go back up here and see how fast it's going. Check for any kinks in the hose. All right, here's one little kink. And it's kinked a little bit here. Not bad. Watch out, Shorty. It's still pumping a lot of water. There we go. All right, we pumped it down several inches already. Shorty's got to check it out. That's Finley's new squirrel dog, Shorty. Well, he won't be still long enough to get him on video. But it's going down pretty quick. Alrighty, we're still pumping good. And this water is pretty clean. It's a little dirty just from me, you know, stirring up the little bit of dirt in the bottom from the pump. But it's this is fresh groundwater, so it's not. I'm not pumping, you know, muddy water or anything. But this pump is supposed to pump, I think, 2,800 gallons per hour. And I think have 25 feet of lift. So it'll be perfect if I hook the garden hose to it to water the cows. I'm anxious to see how much water this little spring actually puts out. We're gonna go check and see how low our pump is getting now. It's just been just a few minutes. We're about to the bottom. There's a little deeper hole over here beside of it, and that's where all the tadpoles will end up settling. And we're going to let Finley dip these tadpoles up and relocate them. But this thing, once it gets down a little lower, it should kick itself off. I see a lot of water coming back down into the hole already. Okay, now our pump is off. And it sucked it down almost dry, so it done really good. So now I'm going to stop the camera. I'm going to time this and see how long it takes this hole to fill back up. It may take it all evening, I don't know. This hole is probably about 2 feet deep, about 3 foot across. And we'll just see how it does. Alrighty, it's been about 45 minutes. So we're gonna go over here and see how much water we've got in this water hole now. And I'm looking forward to digging this out. I'm gonna try to get some concrete drain tiles and use them in here. Like if you ever see the Red Poppy Ranch, the water system they have, that's kind of what I want to go for. So we're gonna flip the camera around here and see how much water we have. Okay, in 45 minutes, it's filled up, back up almost to the top of the pump, and you can still see all the sides is wet where water is coming in. So I believe this is going to be a good amount of water. Last week we did have quite a bit of rain, but this is, I've never seen a time when this has been bone dry. Even in a drought, this has still had some water in it. So I believe I get me a nice deep hole. I believe this will do fine. I'm going to put me a water hose connector on this pump, and I'm going to water the cows now with it, and we're going to pump it down again. Okay, we've got us a water hose on here now. I'm going to place this pump back down in my water, and I'm going to take this water hose, put it in my cattle trough, and we're going to fill up the trough with this now. Okay, we've got the pump on again, and I've got the hose hooked to it, and I've got some kinks in this old hose, so I have to try to get these kinks out. This hose has about had the lick. I've had it for years, and it was a cheap hose when I got it. But we're going to follow this hose, and we're going to go check on the water output up here. You can see the cows up here on the hill. I moved them up here above my house to this upper lot, and they've really enjoyed these woods during this hot weather. Okay, this old tank, I'm gonna need to wash it out while I got this hose up here. Get all the kinks out of it. Okay, we're getting some water now. Oh yeah. I'll probably pull the plug on this tank and go ahead and wash him out. It's pretty nasty. So this is an old bathtub that I've got set up here for a water tank. I'll probably unscrew it. And we'll drain this water. Put them some fresh water in here. I'm going to put this hose in the back of the tank, and as it flows, we'll wash this out. I haven't had anything drinking out of this tank in a while because the horse hasn't been here. So it needs a good cleaning. I say the drain's getting plugged up. There, we got the water flowing. All right, our pump's doing good. It's pumped down about halfway from where it was a minute ago. And it's probably lifting probably 6, maybe 7 foot, 8 foot higher than what the pump is. So we're just gonna let this thing pump until it pumps us down again. And then we're gonna do it again probably a couple times. I'll probably flush it out again tomorrow. But so far I'm real happy with this little pump. This is a little SmartBot 2800 pump. And so far it's done a fine job for me. It's just about pumped it dry. And man, this thing will suck it down to almost nothing. And now it's shut off. So I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to leave it alone because my tank isn't all the way full, and we'll let it kick back on whenever the water level reaches the right height, and we'll try it again. Okay, our pump just now kicked back on automatically. And I kind of helped speed it along. I took me a 5-gallon bucket of water, this time and I poured it real slow down here. That way I could just watch and see when the pump kicked on. So that water was a few inches deep and it kicked back on, and it's pumping now and pumping up to the cow tank. Okay, the little SmartBot 2800 pump has done a fine job. I'm gonna let her pump and fill up my cow trough again. Y'all let me know what you think about my water system in the spring here. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get some concrete drain tiles. I don't know how much they are a piece, but I'm figuring if I can get maybe 6 foot deep, maybe a 2 or 3 footer in the ground with gravel around it in the top, and then hook this Myers pump up to it, I believe I'll do a fine job. And I believe the little SmartBot pump will do a fine job for me to keep it pumped dry. When I go to dig it, I can pump her down and dig, and pump it down and dig. And I'm going to use it a lot to water my cows. I can pump it right out of that, or my little tank down here at the barn. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. Shorty. I appreciate y'all watching. I'll put a link in the description to the SmartBot pump. And like I said, let me know what you think about the water system. And if you have any other ideas, let me know. Appreciate y'all watching. Hope you have a very blessed day.